busy. Silage cutter. It's the cutter drum. It's where the knives bolt. Hey, good afternoon everybody. How you doing? This is Organic Dairyman and welcome back to my channel today. Today is Monday, July 13th. Whew, it's almost the middle of the month already. So I hope everybody's day is going great. And my day is going great so far. And so far, no major problems. I'm just getting ready to load the feeder wagon for the young stock for their ration. And so, anyways, what is on the agenda for today? Well, I guess you saw earlier, I made a phone call to the Know How dealership to see about that part for the silage cutter. They did not have it on hand. They said they'd have to get it from another dealership. And it won't be here probably till, I don't know, maybe Wednesday at the earliest. So, anyways, so we got to work at that. What we don't want to wait till Wednesday. So what we're gonna do with that piece is part of the threads are bad, only part of the way down. So what we're gonna do is get a longer bolt. We're gonna get, like, I think the bolt is 1.5 inches long, so we're gonna try to get a 2-inch bolt and 2.5 bolt. Just see what it turns out to be. And put that in there and try that. It should work. Get us by until we get that new piece. We're probably, just gonna get it and then put it in and then. So yeah. So anyways, my brother, he's gonna go to town to John Deere and see if he can get that bolt there. And then I don't know if we're gonna electricity guys are gonna come out, because if you remember my last video, we were having problems with something electrical in the barn there, and so they're going to come out and see if they can fix that problem and do that. And I'm going to keep working at feeding, and hopefully when I get done with most of the feeding here, my brother should be back, and then I can work at cutter and get that one excuse me, get that one knife back and cutter knife in there and get it set up, and then get the knife sharpened and get it going. I really need to get on that second cut hay. I'm embarrassed that we're a little bit more behind on it. We should have been started last week on it. And it's just that it's so time consuming dealing with setting those knives. It's just, and then the heat, we had the heat some of last week and the week before, and it's just taking so much. I feel like it's just zapped energy out of me and my brother and the cows. The cows have dropped the milk production because of it. It's just, that heat just is not good for the animals. It's good for the crops, but not for humans and animals. That's all I can say. But we got some cooler weather coming, they say, on Wednesday. I think on Wednesday Wednesday or Tuesday it's gonna cool down, so into the high 70s. So I'll take that. So we'll see what comes about here today. Hopefully everything goes good. Okay, I gotta quick let the cows out to the pasture so they can get the other 30% of their feed ration. They get 70% of their ration. We feed in the feed bunks there, and the other 30% they get out there in the pasture. So that's exactly what, let me set you guys up here. That's exactly what the USDA says we have to do, and that's what we do. We follow those rules. And so as always, they're kind of clumping together down there, so I gotta get them going up there. Oh, so I'm gonna get the cows out to the pasture. Then I might have to take the water tank out there and do that so they get their water. But it got cloudy here all of a sudden. I don't know, there's a chance of rain, so I don't know what it's gonna do. We'll see. I've been working on this thing. I tried tightening that thing up and it still won't work. Well, I think it's just because this bolt still needs to be longer. So I'm gonna go to the farm store and see if they have one that's longer yet. Because apparently John Deere, that's all that they had out there for length and that kind of bolt. And so I'm gonna try the farm store. It's kind of frustrating because we only have one equipment dealership in town now. We used to have two. At one time we used to have three. Many years ago there used to be probably five, but now we're just down to one. We used to have a Case IH dealer in town. They went out of business in 2016. Well, actually it was 2017 they did, but part of the reason why they went out of business because the store burnt down and they tried running some makeshift deal, and anyways the company had invested too much money in some other stores, and so they decided to close one down in town. And so now we only have one dealer, implement dealer right in town to go to. That's like within 10 miles. So, but we do have the farm store, and I will try them and see if they can help me out. If they can't, it might just have to wait until Wednesday till we get this actual piece in here. Or I could drive 50 miles to Watertown, the next town, bigger town, and see if they have something. Yes, this thing is really getting on my nerves. Oh. Well, I thought as long as I was coming back from town, I was gonna stop and sorry about that, check the we got a bunch of sweet clover growing in here on this approach. We got to come down here and mow this. But I'm going to check the oats down here and see how the oats are doing. Boy, that hay really picked up and grew in here after we got that rain. These oats are getting very close to getting ready. I'd say when we get done chopping second cut hay, these oats are going to be ready to combine. But field doesn't look too bad. We got some broadleaf coming over there in a few little tiny spots, but overall it doesn't look too bad. But that hay really picked up in here. But these oats are yeah, there's still a few green oats in here yet, but so yeah, so in a probably a couple weeks we could start doing these oats. So yeah, so I better head back and work in that chopper in. We need to get this sweet clover stuff cut down over here because it is, you can't even tell what the approach is. We would normally come in from that way and do it, but that road's been underwater for a while. I'm gonna actually go that way and see if it might be open now. But yeah. Looks like there's still a little bit of water up here. I don't know if I dare try driving through it. We might get stuck. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna try it. Those ruts could be deeper than I think, and then I'll have to call my brother and I'll have to come pull me out, and that would be embarrassing. Better turn around. Oh, grind them till you find them. Okay, this is a 2.5-inch bolt. So you can see the size difference there. So I'm gonna try sticking this thing in there. Hopefully it works. I just hope. Otherwise we're just gonna have to wait till Wednesday. Let's go do something else. It's just getting so frustrating. I just went around the whole drum, made sure that all the bolts were tight and secure. Because like I said, I do not want any of these things to come loose, because they come loose. One of these bolts, they'll hit the shear bar here, and it will make a heck of a mess. Going around 1,000 RPMs per minute like that, it will just, man, it will slam into that thing, and it's not something you want to have happen. So, did have trouble. I was just checking the torque on this one bolt here, and then I noticed this one, which bolt was it? Yeah, I don't know, I noticed it wasn't, the camera could focus there, but you can see the threads on that one weren't very good, so it was turning in there. So I just took a tap, went in there and cut the threads down in there deeper. Luckily I bought 2 bolts that were 2.5 inches long, so it's a good thing I did. So theoretically, actually this one should be replaced too, but I don't know, they're all torqued. Like I said, this one here was the one that I was working on earlier. That one's torqued down. I checked it with the torque wrench, you know, made sure. So they ain't gonna come loose. They shouldn't. So I guess the next thing is to switch that around, put that on there, and sharpen the knives here. But I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to do it here today. I don't even know what time it is. It's ooh, yeah. I'll probably better go and grab a bite to eat here. Man, I just tell you, this thing is so, it just feels like it's so intense that I can just feel this just sweat running down my back. Just like, you know, you're a little bit nervous, tensed up, that I want to get this thing done, and I want to get chopping hay. We need to get chopping hay. We need to get on that. So I'm gonna switch this around so it's ready to go. So if I don't get a chance yet this evening to sharpen them, I'll sharpen them tomorrow as soon as I can. So that's what I better do, grab a bite to eat. Hey, good morning everybody. It is another day. I'm just getting my minerals and stuff weighed out here quick. And yeah, it is raining out just a little tiny bit, just real light rain. Obviously that is gonna throw a little damper on our plans to start chopping today, more than likely. But we still got things we could do here today. We still gotta finish getting that cutter ready, and we gotta get the bagger hooked up and get that ready to go. So we'll have plenty to do here today, but I guess we'll see how the day goes. But the rain is welcome, I guess, so we do need a little shot, so ain't gonna hurt anything. But yeah, we'll just see how this day goes here, and hopefully we'll make some progress towards the haying thing, getting going with hay here today. I hope so. But yep. Okay, I'm gonna go out to the machine shed, get the TG210 and get that, bring that up here and hook that up to the cutter, sharpen the knife, And my brother, he's gonna head out a little bit and go cut some hay down. He just gotta wash the windows on the tractor there, and then he's gonna start cutting some hay down, some overly ready second crop hay. But I'm gonna get that cutter, the knife sharpened on there, and get that shear bar in and get it set and be done with it. I have just, well, I don't need to tell you, that's not the most funnest job in the world. Well, I'm ready to sharpen the knives, and let's hope they sharpen better now that they're all evenly adjusted. I think that the other guy, the guy that we had, the guy that used to custom chop for us, he was the one that put this in here for us. We brought it down to his place. I don't know, it was like, was it 3 years ago now? 2 or 3 years ago. And he put these in there, but I don't think that he ever set the knives up. Because this is supposed to be for a 900 cutter, not an 892. So we'll see how it does now. Okay, they got the knives here sharpened, and I tell you, it's a lot better than it was before. This side is a lot sharper than it was before. It's still, in some places, it's still not as good as that side, but some of these knives on this side, like this one, it had a lot more out of it. But then there's some that are on this side that are nice and sharp, but there's some that they just really got wore down a lot. And I don't know, I can keep sharpening and sharpening and sharpening, but it's way better than it was before. Yeah, some of this is sharp enough you can cut your finger on it if you're not careful. And there's some that's still a little tiny bit dull yet, but I think we'll leave it. I mean, I've already adjusted the sharpening stone down. I mean, I adjusted it down once already, down into that thing. So I've done a lot of sharpening with it. So now I'm just gonna put the shear bar in and get that thing set and finish greasing it up, and it'll be ready to go chop. Hey everybody, it's Steven here. We just thought I'd give you a little update what's going on here. We're just getting started here with the second cutting hay. I'm cutting the first of it down. We're a little bit late with things here, later than I wanted to be, but we're going now. If you've been following the channel, you've been seeing that Paul's been working on the silage cutter, setting those knives up. That just took a little longer than we wanted to, and last week, if you're watching the channel, you've seen that we bought a land roller now. I just happened to be in that town where the implement dealership is that sold it. I just went up there, hadn't been there in about 10 years. So that'd be kind of nice to go up there and just have a picnic. So we went up there and had a picnic, and I went over to the dealership there. And anyways, I knew that they sold this particular brand of land roller that we
buying. It's called Harms. They're manufactured in Bertha, Minnesota. I called the company this spring and just kind of talked to them about it. And the thing that's a little bit unique about theirs is that the drums on there are a little smaller, so they don't cost as much because there's not as much steel there. And also the simplicity of their design makes it a little bit cheaper. So they're quite a bit cheaper than a lot of the competitor brands out there with the bigger drums. And kind of the theory behind it is with actually the smaller drum, you should be putting more pressure there to push the rocks down, because it's a smaller size drum, so you're putting more pressure down per square inch rather than spreading it out over a bigger distance with a bigger drum. So that's kind of the thinking behind it, I guess. We'll see if the theory actually works and it pushes the rocks down as good as like our neighbors with the bigger drum. I was just kind of concerned about the neighbor selling his, and he hasn't sold it yet, but maybe by next spring he will. And I just happened to find this one up there. It was used, and anyways, when I talked to this Harms Manufacturing this spring, they told me that this implement dealership there was a dealer form for their rollers. So and I know by their website I saw they had a new one on hand, so I thought it'd be kind of nice just to go up and look at a new one, just to see if they're as good as what they're saying they're supposed to be. So anyways, when I went up there, I just happened to see they had a pretty good used one on hand, and it happens to be a 45 foot, which is the same as what our neighbor's is. Not that I was necessarily looking that I had to have a 45 foot. 30 would have been fine with me, but I'll take 45, I guess, if we can get it. It was at the right price. This was considerably cheaper than what our neighbor's was. I think it was about $14,000 less than what our neighbor was asking for his. And his is about the same age as this one, so knock on wood, hopefully everything will turn out and it'll push the rocks in as good as his and stuff. But it was kind of just too good of an opportunity, I thought, to pass up. I don't think one of these comes up for sale that's used very often, so I thought we better jump at the chance to pick it up. And anyways, they had said that the salesman said they just got this one in not too long ago, so it worked out kind of nice. It was a little bit tricky bringing it home. As I said, one of the things are a little simpler design. So the front roller is 15 foot versus having on the other neighbor's roller, it's maybe only 10 foot in the front, and then they make up the difference on the other two side ones that fold backwards. So this one is 15 foot in the front, so it made it a little bit of a challenge coming home with it, just for the simple fact that it was that wide. I had to be driving on the shoulder of the road on the one side of the roller, so that the other side wasn't sticking over the yellow line. But I made it. I averaged about 25 miles an hour the whole way home. It took me about 2.5 hours to drive what would normally be a 1 hour drive. So there's times where I was able to get up to 35. Just kind of depended on the condition of the road and everything. So yeah, as long as I was out here, I thought I'd tell a little story about some family history. It's a story about our maternal great-grandfather. He was immigrant from Sweden. He came over to the United States about, it was like...
Okay, I just thought I'd just show you guys. I just got done setting the shear bar, but I got it pretty close. You could just... Got just a little bit of a tick to it, but that's okay. Yep, you wouldn't want to stick your finger down in there. Wouldn't take long and you'd be, well, you'd have one less finger or be fingerless. I do know of a guy that does custom chopping, and I don't know, something happened to the silage cutter. He had a self-propelled one, and I don't remember exactly what the deal was, but the story was that I don't know if something broke and the knives were still spinning in there yet. He stuck his hand in there to, something was plugged up, and he stuck his hand in there, and his hand went right off just like that. He was in such a hurry, he didn't wait for the knives to stop turning, and so now this guy, he's got a hook. A hook for a hand. So yep, you got to be careful around these things. You do not want to lose a hand or fingers in there. Wouldn't take long. Okay, this is about as much as we're gonna get done here tonight. We gotta take this bag off, because if you don't know, if you haven't been watching my videos, if you're new to the channel, this bag is about 80 feet. This was actually part of this bag here. That was the first cutting, and we used maybe like, I don't know, 50 feet, maybe not even 50 feet. I don't know what it was. So this was a, what was this, 150 foot bag? So maybe there's about 100 feet on here, I don't know. Yeah, it was a 150 foot bag, so there's probably about 100 feet on there. So we're gonna take this off. We got to get some twine string or some string and tie this up all the way around here so it stays together. Then we got to put an arrow on it saying this side towards bagger, because you don't want to get it there. If you get it on the wrong way, then when you unfold the plastic, it will be coming off black. You want the white on there because that reflects the sunlight and doesn't make the bag get hot. So I don't even know what mil plastic this is, but how many mil it is. But that's the way it is. So we're gonna take this off, put a 200 foot bag on here. And yes, we decided to put this bag down here, this 200 foot. And it might be a possibility that if we have more than what this will fill a 200 foot bag, then we'll take this 100 foot bag and go up on top of the hill up there where I was showing you the other day and do it that way. So that's what we're gonna do. But it's time to get started with chores so we don't get so late. I gotta finish loading up the feeder wagon here for the cows, and but pretty much everything is ready to go for tomorrow, except just to finish up that, get the bagger greased up, and then be ready to go for tomorrow. So so we'll start second cutting hay. We're a little bit behind. I guess you saw my brother film his little thing out there. That hay field out here, it's really blossomed. We should have been on it probably realistically a week and a half ago, but like I say, we were trying to cultivate soybeans and cultivate some corn, and you wish you could be doing all those jobs at one time, but you can't be. You can only do one job at one time, or so that's all you can do. Just all you can do is do your best, and that's what we're trying to do here, is do our best for what we're capable of doing. So, but at least the cutter, the knives are way sharper than they were before. It should do a lot better draw. I did flip the shear bar around. It's got a new cutting edge on there. So we'll see if that fixes that problem we had feeding in earlier in first cutting. So maybe we won't have a problem with second cutting. Maybe it was just a first cutting thing, but we'll see. So tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. So Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. So thanks so much for watching. And also, guys, be sure, a little astronomical thing here, if you get up early in the morning, I have not done that yet, but if you get up, you got to see that comet. It's only going to be you're only going to be able to see it for sometime in August, the middle of August, and it's going to be gone. You can see it in the northeast if you get up before the sun comes up, and you're going to be able to start seeing in the evening now, just barely, and just after the sun goes down. So don't miss out on seeing that comet. You won't see it again for like another 7,000 years. So anyways, guys, have a good night. Take care. Please don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Organic Dairyman. And please don't also forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. So I guess that's it. So I'll catch you later.